Well, hello everybody. I am going to officially start our webinar. Welcome from wherever you are in Australia, and welcome to the MTPConnect ARM Hub webinar on artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning, and our fantastic new biomedical accelerator, which we're going to talk to you about. Really pleased that you could all join us for the webinar today. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the many lands on which we are gathered today, pay my respects to elders past and present, and extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who are joining our webinar. Stuart Dignam is my name. I am the Chief Executive Officer of MTPConnect. And if you've not dealt with us before, we are Australia's Life Sciences Innovation Accelerator. We're a not-for-profit organisation, an independent organisation, and all of our work is aimed at growing the medtech, biotech and pharma sector in Australia, from workforce and skills programs, our accelerators, where we provide non-dilutive funding, value-add support and mentoring to SMEs. Our role with the Industry Growth Program, which is a new initiative from the Department of Industry, Science and Resources, which may be of interest to you for further funding down the track. Programs for state governments, international engagement. We're recently at Bio in the United States, and policy and advocacy. Our job really is to position you and your company for success. And I guess that brings us to the kind of subject of artificial intelligence, the mega trend of mega trends, and our collaboration with ARM Hub, which is Advanced Robotics for Manufacturers Hub, and a fabulous partner. We've basically joined forces because we both agree that we need to improve both understanding of and adoption of AI in life sciences generally, and specifically in life science businesses. And we want to do that because by all accounts, we are on the cusp of an AI-driven life science revolution, and we need to be a part of that. Otherwise, we'll just be left behind. So our aim is really to move beyond policies and frameworks for AI to actual capacity and capability building for SMEs. And we know that SMEs often don't have sort of the resources or the in-house skills to engage with AI providers or the AI ecosystem. And that's what we all need help with, but we all need to do it. And I'm just going to reference a report from McKinsey that came out earlier this year. It estimated that generative AI could produce between 60 and 110 billion in value to life sciences each year. And that's accelerated drug discovery, more efficiency with clinical trials, and quicker regulatory approvals, which all sounds great, but to turn that potential into a reality, well, we're going to need skills, and we're going to need access to proper data and AI architecture and platforms. And that's where our Biomedical AI Sprints Accelerator comes in. We have Sam and Roosbear from ARM Hub who are on the webinar today to kind of talk you through what it is, what it's about, and how it might help your business to grow. And we're really delighted to be partnering with ARM Hub on this initiative. So I'm going to stop talking, other than to say again, welcome. We are really glad you've been able to join us, and I hope you get a lot out of the information session today. I'm going to hand over now to Samuel Jasudian, who is the COO of ARM Hub. Sam, over to you.
Thank you, Stuart. I think you can hear me well. Yes.
All good.
Excellent. Rightly said. Thank you, Stuart. It is the right time, and we all know that artificial intelligence is the mega trend, and we wanted to utilize the opportunity and be the global leader in that space, which is one of our main aim and objectives for us to partner with MTPConnect on this exciting program. And I'm going to quickly go through the program overview and the design of the program itself and what benefits that participating SMEs would receive as part of the program, and also some of the key examples so that they can relate to whether they are the right fit to enter into the exciting accelerator program. For those who don't know me, I'm Sam Jessudian. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Advanced Robotics for Manufacturing Hub here in Brisbane. And I'm also leading the business development and partnerships and also some key programs within ARM Hub as well. As Stuart said, we are also one of the industry partner organization that's a funded initiative from DISA, Department of Industry and Science and Resources. And we also recently received one of the 4 AI Adopt Centers nationally. And what this means is actually the companies through this program actually able to leverage extensively in the knowledge and transfer, training, and other activities around AI and what it means to their businesses. With that, I'm happy to share a couple of slide decks and then hand over to my colleague, Ruth Spey, to talk more the depth of the technical aspects of it, and then we're happy to take questions from there. So Biomedical AI Sprints Accelerator program. So it is designed in a 2-stage concept. So we are going through at this stage market entry and getting all the interest. Expression of interest has been announced, and we will keep it open for a couple more weeks till end of July. And then in August, we'll go through the selection and getting the companies awarded and getting through the initial stage of agreement and keep things in place. So that's really the first step of the program. And as a stage 1, we will run a co-design workshop with the awarded SMEs in partnership with key stakeholders that are essential based on the challenges or the opportunities that they put forward as part of their application. Within our processes, we have the standard method where we use double diamond method. So we use that as a basic principle to run through this co-design workshop. And what the outcome of that would actually help us to develop a roadmap for the particular challenge or opportunity that you put forward, and also help us to identify the right user case to take it to the next step of the program, which is to develop a proof of concept or proof of delivery as part of that. And during this, throughout this program, will also help the participating company to go through any required training programs or webinars or micro training that is very relevant to the topic that they're working on, but also looking at understanding the skills gap that they have and helping them to identify what the matrix would look like and what's the best pathway moving forward to implement the roadmap that's been developed as part of this process. And then by end of 9 months period, you'll have an exit out of the program with a clear demonstration of the user case that was identified during this process, with also a roadmap that's developed that's specifically targeting your challenge or your for your product or services that was identified. That doesn't stop there. As I said before, between MTPConnect and ARM Hub, we are actually in the pipeline of creating more programs, and we are hoping to identify and recommend investment pathways to scale the user case that you wanted to adopt throughout your businesses, and how you can actually look at other programs to continue that working relationship with ARM Hub and MTPConnect in that space. From an ARM Hub perspective, We are also an independent research institute organization in the manufacturing space, predominantly focusing more on the Industry 4 and relevant technologies. So we have in-house staff that would help to develop such initiatives, provide that right support to the companies. What it means is also that you will have someone that you can actually tap into throughout this process, but also beyond the program as well, to see what type of support that they would need and how they can actually work closely with us on that type of activities as well. I'll touch base on the co-design workshop process that we'll go through as a stage 1. So it is, as I said, it's a double time standard method that we use in order to, in this instance, to identify the right user case that would help us to work through the proof of concept in the following stage 2 of the accelerator program. So we start with the discover first time, and helps people to quite broadly understand what the challenges are and what are the different aspects of it, and then again converge straight into a more focused path, and then again diverge to understand the problem clearly, and then seeking inspirations from other expertise or completely irrelevant of non-competing industry, how they adopted similar tools within their businesses, and bringing back those sort of lesson learns into it to a more focused scale to deliver. As you would have seen the guidelines, I'm just again quickly going through the eligibility. So you have to be an SME in Australia, or if you are not in Australia, if you're a global company that you are really looking to establish businesses here in Australia, that is fine, but you still have to register your business within Australia and have an ABN in place to be an eligible SME for the program, and not be insolvent, and also not be a federal, state, or local government body that or other not-for-profit organizations. It's purely designed to support companies that are going through that tech accelerator space within that small to medium enterprise stage. Some of the examples that we thought we'd put forward so that it'll give some idea for you to relate back into where you fit in the space, and again, we may have missed out, or you probably have a different aspects of it, so feel free to put us in the question and answer, and we'll be happy to answer back. So companies, who are looking to integrate your clinical or operational informatics, and to develop any informed decision tools or predictive tools within a manufacturing setting of a medical manufacturing or a therapeutic or a biotechnology entity, you're well aligned to this program. Even pre-revenue companies looking to develop AI or ML models to support, increase your quality assurance processes, or to support your regulatory certifications. So that can be applied for this program. And any type of predictive analysis on clinical trials, even to look for patient recruitment or understanding the trend of the clinical trial data, how it's going. And we certainly have companies who are in that space who are struggling to understand how they can actually actively look at the data trend, and how they can actually create tools that will help them to be more efficient in conducting trials across globally. Or companies who might be looking or having a particular type of product or services to accelerate the drug screening processes. Some companies do fit in that space. And yes, you're absolutely eligible to participate in this program. And I think the last one is around the generative AI tool, as Stuart rightly said, it's got a huge value, and how we can actually utilize this program to help these companies to adopt and be part of the journey. So this is something that I'll let Roospe to explain a little bit further what we are trying to do within ARM Hub as well, to help companies to potentially put a few examples there, to optimize. Could be an optimization of a particular imaging software you're working on, text, audio, 3D objects, or creating synthetic data, or developing a retrieval augmented generation chatbot, which is an internal chatbot that could be utilized for any type of scenarios. We've been working with companies or having conversations with companies who wanted to have for understanding any errors that comes out of the machineries that they have in the manufacturing floor, or purely they wanted to use chatbot to understand any patient information or clinical information based on the existing data that they've been recovering for so long. So it's all about the foundation and how you keep the foundation ready and how we can actually then implement such tools to effectively use that. The outcome of the program, it's of course through this process, through this two-stage process that we've designed, the company will have a very strong foundation in terms of how the data architecture would look like, what's the data consumption assessment currently is, and how much money are you actually forecasting to consume such a large amount of data within your business, and how we can actually navigate that pathway and provide more cost-effective solutions. Pathway to integrate very complex data ingestion, data collection, and we do have a right infrastructure that we've been working on for a couple of years now, and it's very active now, and industry is quite keen to come and test and play, and we would open that opportunity for companies who participate in this program as well. I'll let Roosbeh to explain about the infrastructure and how it will actually help to a certain extent. And also have a clear plan in place as well. The roadmap that we develop as part of the stage one will also help you understand how it aligns to your business strategy and your investment strategy, and how we can help you to then have a clear planning around how you can actually scale and implement into your business. And finally, you do have a user case that you identified part of this process, and will work towards a success on that in terms of proving that concept, whether it is actually, it may work or it may not work, but at least you have tried as part of this process, and that's definitely an outcome. With that, if you have any further questions on program beyond this webinar, please feel free to reach out to me, myself. Personally, I will oversee the program delivery. Happy to provide any further information or any further technical advice that's needed from our team. I'll stop sharing with Ad, and I'll back to Roosbeh. I'm happy for you to take over.
Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is Roosbeh. I'm an AI lead at ARM Hub. I don't have actually any slide today. I'm just mainly going through a little bit of a background, why there is an issue and what's our approach to address that issue. And then I'm happy for any question that needs further clarification. I'm here. I'm happy to help you to further understand this landscape, right? I think I don't need to emphasize further on importance of AI, generative AI in the field. I think Stuart and Sam, they already mentioned it's a mega trend, it's important. But that the core part of all of that is data, right? So basically the famous say out there is that everyone is ready for AI except your data, right? And data is the important part of the health industry. And in fact, 30% of the data out there is health-related data. We are talking about a huge amount of data that's every year is generated, and every year compared to the previous year is going through a massive growth, right? Health data is extremely complicated because it has all sorts of data in it. It has text, image, structured, unstructured, video, machinery data coming from fields data, right? But issue is that most of the health organizations, especially the smaller to mid-sized companies or startups, they have a very basic data infrastructure, right? That is often kind of a homegrown without having any strategy behind it. That created some sort of a fragmented data landscape. Fragmentation also creates data silos, right? And this creates some more serious issue in terms of governance, security, and compliance, right? Because there is no single point of contact that you can just go and start to deal with the governance and security. And that can lead to not the availability of the data within the organization, and also outside of the organization, because within the health, I've seen a lot of cases that health companies, they want to have a use case that they're sharing data with outside world, right? And that's very important for them for monetization from their own data, because they often have a very valuable data. But the lack of scalable infrastructures, that limits the fact that they cannot deal with data sharing with outside world, which is a big issue, right? So I think having this issue with proper data infrastructure would actually limit the usage of AI and AI adaptation. It's at best case scenario, we will be delivering with some sort of a POC, and it always stays at the POC level. So it is very hard to see that it goes beyond the POC, right? So it just stays as a sort of a good to have. It shows some quality, it shows some outcome, but it never becomes something that the companies can rely on, right? What we have been doing at ARM Hub to kind of tackle this issue is that for the past 15 months, actually nearly 2 years now, we've been working on this service-based approach, right? We've been collaborating with Databricks. It's a world-leading data and AI platform. So what we are offering at the core of that is a service-based approach that we lay down this infrastructure, which is a one-stop shop for your data and AI. That is based on the best practice. It's highly secure with a one central location for governance and compliance, right? And this platform is a totally pay-as-you-go, right? There is no hidden upfront licensing cost. It's a truly pay-as-you-go. And then you basically pay as you use, depends on your usage, right? This is very important because this kind of a one-stop shop for data and AI, it would reduce the complexity of your fragmented data scene, which often uses a wide variety of different tools and technologies that is extremely difficult to maintain. There will be security breaches, because when there are so many solutions out there that you are just maintaining them day to day, the chance of people making a mistake is actually increasing by the factor of the number of solutions that you're adding to the mix. And often out there, most of the data breaches is not because someone hacking to your system, it's because some human make a mistake, right? And that can happen when you have this fragmented solution out there, right? So this is actually a very issue, right? So what this infrastructure would do is that it just brings all of your data and AI in one place, in a securely cloud-based deployment, right? ARM Hub will do that deployment for you. And that's very important, because as an organization with a very low IT footprint, and so often even none, that would be impossible for you to do it on your own. And even if you want to do it with external help, that would cost you within the hundreds of thousands of dollars and probably up to a half a year. What we are doing this because we automated this approach over the past 2 years. We are bringing that cost down to the range of 20 to 50,000 and within weeks. So literally within a couple of weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, you're getting your state-of-the-art AI and data platform, right? So that we are helping you to onboard your users. We are helping you also to work with your team if you have. If not, we are also offering that as a service in terms of data ingestion. We are helping you to move your data in that one place with one compliance and governance. And then if you have an IT team, we are happy to work with your IT team to educate them, bring their skills up to the point that they can manage day-to-day of this business, right? And then on top of that, as Sam was already mentioning, we are doing also other range of services in terms of generative AI. Generative AI is a whole new thing that just took the whole industry by storm. And it's extremely difficult, especially for mid-sized player, to start to get the benefit of generative AI, because there are so many models out there. There are so many things coming every day. So it's hard, especially for the smaller businesses, to kind of catch up with what's going on, and they kind of get lost about where they want to start. So what we are doing here is that we work with you to identify a use case. We work with you on how you can just actually deploy that model using the best generative AI that suits your use case scenario, right? That is cost transparent. It fits your security and compliance demands and need, because some of these models are hosted externally. Some people are not confident to share the data externally. Some of this model can be deployed internally within your data and AI platform. That makes it more secure, but it has some cost complications, right? So what we can do, we will work with you to deliver this as a service that suits your requirements in terms of cost and compliance and security. And also one of the things that I would say is extremely will be helpful, because I've seen these cases discussing this with many health organizations of especially mid-size to startup scale size, that they have an issue with sharing data. So sharing data is an issue because often people collecting very valuable data that they want to monetize, or they have a specific trial that they want to bring two parties together to do some things in a safe environment so that they have a control over the data and the outcome. That is almost impossible with a very basic infrastructure, with the data infrastructure. So that this new environment, this cutting edge data lake infrastructure would actually make that very easy, manageable, cost control, security control, so that when that collaboration is finished, that data will be evaporated and is finished. So it's just available for a certain period of time. People come into the certain place. We call it a clean room. We create you a clean room between you and the third party. And then they come together, they work with the data, they get the outcome. If they're happy to take it to the production, we define a next step. But other than that, it can stay there and we will finish and all the data will be destroyed, right? So there will be no footprint of the data in their organization. You hold the data and outcome, which is to me very important, right? So that's kind of what I wanted to tell you about. I don't have further details. I mean, I know there are a lot of things that I touched upon, but if there are any questions, I'm more than happy to answer those. And if there are any further questions, as Sam was saying, that we are happy to help you. I don't know whether I summarized it good or not, but it just to cover.
That was a good summary, Bruce, from the technical perspective. I think if anyone has any particular questions, please, there's Q&A is open, and please feel free to put your questions in, and we are more than happy to answer back. We do have quite a bit of time here. The one thing that reminded me that I might have forgotten to mention is that the investment is, we did put 25,000 to 50,000 match funding requirement. It will depend on the scale of the user case that we develop as part of this. So the commitment, the initial commitment for the stage one would be a very stage-gated approach. So it is not an upfront payment that you have to commit. So it goes through a very stage-gated process. The first stage is to develop the co-design workshop process. Part of that, then it would help us to understand what level of the user case would require. And then based on that, whether it's a minimum investment towards close to the $25,000 match funding, and then or if it's more close to the $50,000 match funding. And based on that, the program will proceed for each company. Outside of that, as Ruspe was telling, that the basic infrastructure that you'll be able to leverage it, but also then there's additional services such as creating generative AI tool for the companies. It's also part of what we provide as a service to the companies as well. Yeah, Andrew, I think we've got 3 questions that come up, and
good.
So that's good. So I can respond to pretty much most of it, I think, all 3 of it. So what happens to the project and data following completion of the POC, and who takes care of moving the project to production? And Ruspe, please jump in to correct me if I steer the conversation anything wrong in here, but the data belongs to the business. The way it's set it up is like we can't even see the data within the infrastructure. It's the business owns the data, and the project design and you'll be pretty much involved in that entire process. What happens after we complete a POC is that the roadmap, which will be part of that, is to implement the project and how we can provide that support. Certainly, there'll be support available from ARM Hub team and our experts, but it will be ultimately the business's decision to take it forward, and also we will provide our support in terms of investment, skills gap, and how we can articulate that challenges for the business. So there will be ongoing engagements beyond the accelerator program.
Can I add something here, please?
Yes.
So in fact, I think that's a very good question. Yes, your data will be yours. That's the whole idea of this program. So, and in fact, the data will be storing in this data and AI as a service solution will be stored in an open source format, so that in case you just want to stop this program and you are not interested anymore, you can with no cost get your data out and just use it elsewhere, right? So that's one of the actual benefits of using this kind of cutting edge technologies, that yes, data is absolutely your property and you can take it out without any cost at any point in time.
Thanks, Rusbe. The next question is around any guidance will be provided in terms of qualification or validation of systems or tool to be created as part of this program. Rusbe, do you have any view on that in terms of?
Can you please repeat the question? Can you please repeat the question?
Any guidance will be whether we'll provide in terms of the qualification or validation of that system or tool to be created as part of this program. So validation of the system itself.
Yeah, in terms of standards and best practices, yes. This is something we will work with you. As I said, we are partnered with one of the world leading data and AI provider in the world. They are one of the best, if they're not the best. So we are happy to work with you in terms of how your concerns around security, compliance, cost will be addressed. Yes.
So that was one of the important factors here, is that it's not just ARM Hub independently doing this. We are partnered strategically with Databricks on this and Microsoft as well. And I think that's a great value for the participating companies to work with us to be exposed into that ecosystem. And some technical capabilities will be easily accessible as part of this partnership that we have. And last question to now, is it the match funding is for the platform or for enabling an employee? I would say it is a combination of both, because your employee will also, the key relevant staff who would be part of this journey would be quite actively engaged with the ARM Hub team during that process. So, the match funding, of course, it is for the activity that's involved within the program. Anything outside the program, we cannot commit. But if the project involves having one of your staff to be worked alongside with us, yes, we can consider it as part of that. Is there any further questions? Please feel free to put it in. And I think we've also got the polls came back in, which is great. Rusbe, do you need to add anything further to the employee, the company's employee being part of the program, and your insights on, how would you see working with a staff or
Yes.
a key decision maker? Yeah.
So that's actually part of the service. I forgot to mention that. And one of the issue is, post-delivery support. That's one of the biggest issues with data and AI, that once data and the solution is deployed, there is always a post-delivery support needed, which part of this service-based approach, we will be working with you to kind of take care of the solution that is already in production. And also, while we are developing the solution, if you have an IT staff that needs to be upskilled, we are happy to work with that team to upskill them, to kind of make sure that once we leave and the project becomes the BAU, business as usual, then your team is qualified to actually take care of that. Yes.
Thank you. If you don't have any further questions, Andrew, I'm happy for you to hand it over back to you. Yeah.
Thanks, Sam. Great questions, everyone. Thank you for those. And if you've got any more, feel free to fire off emails to us or to Sam or Rusbe. I think the information session has been a fantastic opportunity to find out more about the Biomedical AI Sprints Accelerator. I hope you have found it as interesting and informative as I have, and you're already thinking about your application. So thanks again for joining us. If you're interested in applying, you can access further information, guidelines, and apply via the ARM Hub website under the Opportunities tab, which I hope will be displayed on the screen any seconds, maybe? Or not?
We can share the link.
We can share the link.
Participants it's needed. And And the one other point that I would put it out there is that when you respond to criteria, make sure you add as much as information about the challenges, but also what's been worked, what you have tried before, and it'll be good to get that background in, so it helps us to understand, to assess it appropriately. So I think if you have any data architecture issues or any type of data integral issues, so it's best to actually inform and put it as part of the application process. Yes, I think that's...
There we go, there's the slide.
Yeah.
With the link. So pretty self-explanatory / Biomedical AI Sprints Accelerator. Excellent. Rusbe, I might say, is there anything else that you would like to add before we close the webinar? Or Sam, is there any other final words of wisdom or encouragement that you can offer?
No, but just don't underestimate the complexity of running a data infrastructure, because the more you sit on a bad architecture, you create a more complexity. The more difficult and more costly to actually migrate it to a better architecture. So, and unfortunately, there is no shortcut for data. Data, it's unfortunately, it's difficult. But the quicker you dealt with it, especially as a small company, the easier, the quicker, less costly, and less complicated you can do that transition.
So after its launch last month at Bio 2024 in San Diego, it's really exciting to see the ARM Hub MTPConnect Biomedical AI Sprints Accelerator now open for applications. The initiative is designed to directly address skills gaps identified in analysis undertaken through the MTPConnect Ready program, which specifically identified AI expertise gaps that are potentially holding back the growth of Australia's life sciences sector. These gaps include expertise in big data capture, management and analysis, and expertise in the design and use of AI. As we all know, this field is moving incredibly quickly, which is why this accelerator is so important to ensure the sector in Australia is not left behind. MTPConnect is delighted to be working with the team at ARM Hub to make this a reality, as we've shared interest in supporting innovation in medical product discovery and to advance human health. I'd like to thank the ARM Hub team for their help and input in today's webinar, especially Sam Jesuidian and Rusbe Darakhshan for their presentations, and also Angela Reid from the ARM Hub, who has helped us prepare for today's webinar. Thank you all. I'd also like to thank Stuart Dignam, our CEO, who kicked off today's webinar, for his welcome and introduction. And also not forgetting the people who organize, prepare, and work in the background for this webinar to make it all run smoothly. So thank you to our comms team. Definitely, I'd encourage everyone to put in an application, and best of luck to everyone who does. So thank you all for attending. And if there's no other questions or nothing else, I can declare the webinar closed. Thank you all again for coming along.